Right. So just settle down into your seat, whatever that is this morning. And just start to scan the body and just begin to notice your physical body, your physical presence, your weight. So just begin to notice your weight, your presence. And begin to notice your breath and that movement of the breath in and out, rising and falling. Softening your shoulders, softening down into your pelvis, into your legs, relaxing your belly. Begin to tune into your breath without controlling the breath. Just start to really observe that flow and that rhythm of the breath in and out. Begin to notice what's around for you today. Sensations, feelings, thoughts. And what's taking up the most space. So there might be particular thoughts that maybe have been swirling around for a day or two, or just coming up this morning. There might be physical discomfort in the body, or there might be an overwhelming feeling that's taking up space, that's occupying your attention. So just observe what is there. And we can do a little sort through our thoughts as if we were organizing them. So you can notice which thoughts are just chatter, are just a replay from last night or yesterday or this week. Which thoughts are important or maybe need more consideration. Maybe they just need to be talked out with someone later. Observe which thoughts are very familiar to you, and maybe they're ones that constantly come up, that are kind of part of your psyche, if you like. Which ones can you really attach to feelings? Perhaps to do with how you're feeling right now. And then you're trying to figure out why that is. So we begin to bring in a story or reasoning to that. So just have a little sort through noticing and observing, and you can deliberately choose to put some of those thoughts aside and to let some of those thoughts go. And sometimes it's useful to imagine that you've got a cupboard there or a set of drawers, or maybe even a room that you can put things in. I don't know about you, but I'm not very good at sorting paperwork. I tend to put it in a drawer and forget about it, and then come back to it much later and find things that I've lost. So have a think. What's your way of sorting, organizing? And just spend a little bit of time doing that with some thoughts, with some feelings, just parking them for a while. One thing I've learned over the years is that certain things can always be dealt with later. We don't have to try and do everything all at once. So even though I'm not very organized when it comes to paperwork, I'm very good at dealing with something that needs my attention sooner. A project or an event that's coming up, and give it my full attention and get it done. Notice your breath again. And then just consider, now I've just made a little bit more space. And things can settle. When I worked as a therapist, one of the stories that I would use with young people was called A Huge Bag of Worries. And it was about this little boy that would carry around this bag. This bag would follow him around. And it was just getting more and more full of worries. And the worries weren't necessarily all his. He'd listen to a conversation with his parents, and then he'd worry. He'd listen to a conversation with his friends, and then he'd worry about what they were worrying about. He'd see something outside, and then he'd worry about it. And this bag just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And he tried to put it under the bed, and it wouldn't fit. He tried to put it in a cupboard, and it was just bursting out of the cupboard. And these worries were all different shapes and sizes. All these funny little creatures bursting out of the bag. And one day he was sitting on his bed and looking really upset and really sad and anxious, and he wasn't sleeping very well. And his mum came and said, "Oh, what's wrong?" And he was just like, "Oh, I've just got all of this, and it's getting really, really heavy, and I just can't carry it anymore." And his mum just said, "Let's open it up and have a look what's in there." And the boy hadn't looked in the bag for a really long time. He'd just kind of been stuffing everything in there and carrying it around. And they opened it up and they spread everything out. And they looked at every single worry. And then the mum was like, "Well, that one's nothing to do with you. That's so and so down the road, or this is to do with this." And as they sorted and as they looked at each worry, it disappeared. And very soon the bag was empty. And the boy realized that really all he had to worry about was what was going on for himself in that moment. And there wasn't really very much. He was just a boy. And he felt light and relaxed and happy. And his mum took some of her worries away. And I really like that story because it just reminds us that some of the things that we carry and some of the things that we worry about are actually not ours to worry about. And we can get into this trap of worrying and fretting and keep going round and round in circles. And some of the things we have no control over, and we just, if we worry about them, there's no end to it. And some things we can control, and we can talk them through with friends. We can do yoga, we can meditate, we can go for a walk. We can logically think things through. But we don't have to carry this bag. We don't have to carry things for others. So just notice your breath. Feel that movement of the breath in and out. Notice that rise, that fall. Notice any sensation of lightness or spaciousness. If you feel a little bit more clear, a little bit more still, and more relaxed. And bring your hands to your heart center. Take a nice full in breath. And exhale, bowing the head and opening your eyes. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely Saturday. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nichi. Have a good day.
Thank you. See you soon. Bye bye.